Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and spirit directly through channeling about what the gossip is on you right now. What are people saying about you behind your back? And I have 4 groups here that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, and this will be group number 4. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can just pause the video. But if you don't need any more time, then just head down to the description box below and find the timestamp for your particular group and click on that, and your reading should appear in front of you. And while you're down there in the description box below, make sure to check out my guide on how to book a personal reading from me. It's always a pleasure doing personal readings for you guys, so please check that out. But let's focus on this reading right now, so pick your group and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose this Jolanda Tarot deck, and I'm gonna start with some channeling and then I'm gonna shuffle these cards for you. So I'm gonna do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 1, the people who will choose group number 1? What's the gossip on group number 1? What are people saying about group number 1 behind group number 1's back? Okay, so I'm getting something about shapeshifter or shape-shifting. So I don't know if people might be saying something about you changing your appearance often, or that you're very transformative. This doesn't have to be about appearance. It could also be that you change your interests a lot, and that one day you're interested in one thing and maybe the next day you're interested in something completely different. But it could also have to do with appearance, that maybe you change your style a lot, or maybe you change your hair a lot. And so I think some people might be saying something about you changing, and that it might sometimes be a bit hard to hard to know where your mind's at. Sometimes this doesn't have anything to do with the shape-shifting thing, but I think someone in your life might. I'm actually sensing that this is actually a positive reading. I don't think people are talking about you in a bad way. I think people just talk about how you change your interest a lot, and change your style a lot, or change your appearance a lot, and that it's just a part of who you are, and that I don't think people are actually criticizing this. I just think people talk about this. But I feel like there might be someone who is maybe not necessarily, this is not criticism, but it might be on the negative side, where I think this person might feel like this person doesn't know where your mind's at sometimes, that they don't know if. I feel like this is maybe someone you were friends with before, and maybe you have kind of maybe minimized, or not minimized, but maybe reduced the amount of time that you spent on this person. Maybe you haven't reduced it a lot, but it might be kind of noticeable for that person that you have kind of withdrawn a little bit from this person. And I think this person is taking it kind of personally, that they feel like they don't really know what caused it, because this person feels like they don't really know how to read you, that they feel like maybe they did something wrong, but they can't really tell what it was that they did wrong, because this person is a bit oblivious about like this person might have said something to you and you just felt like now it's done, like now you don't want, like, or that you just wanted it to be over between you two in a more subtle way, where you just walked away or withdrew from this person without making a big scene about it. You didn't want to tell this person why, because you didn't want to get into some kind of argument about it, but you just wanted to reduce the time that you spent with this person. And I think this person has definitely noticed, and they just don't know why. And it might be very obvious to you, and you might feel like it should be obvious to them too, but I think this person just doesn't really realize what they've done. And so I think this person might be talking to other people and kind of trying to get some scoop on what's actually going on in your life or in your mind, since like I think this person just wanted to has been very eager to figure out the reason behind you withdrawing from them. So if that makes sense. But I feel like other than that, I think people are talking about you in a very positive way. I don't think there is something here, and I feel like it could still be that person who feels slightly rejected by you, that you have left this person behind. It could still be this person, but it could also be another one. But I feel like there is someone in your life who feels like there's something that happened where they met you in the grocery store or at a mall or something, and this person waved at you, and maybe you didn't wave back or something, or maybe you just kind of tried to sneak out without that person noticing you. And I think this person noticed that you were there. So it didn't. So I guess you weren't successful in trying to sneak out. And this person might have seen your back while you were kind of leaving, and I think they just assumed that they had that you had seen them, but that you were just rushing out so that you didn't have to talk to them. And I think this person felt slightly, left out, kind of left out in the cold. That this person didn't really realize that your friendship or your relationship or whatever was at this point. Like they didn't realize that it was that bad. But I'm gonna shuffle and see what the cards have to say about what the gossip is on you. Okay. The sun here is great. Like people have a very positive perception of you. It's like people see you as a very bright personality. Like people also enjoy your company. I think people actually want, like, it seems like what people usually talk about when they talk about you is that they want to spend more time with you. And maybe, like, I feel like there is a bit of a common denominator here, that the people that you are, that you're friends with and that are close to you, like, it's like they want more, and they get a bit they feel a bit rejected if they don't get enough time with you, like that it seems like and it also seems like some people might feel like you should be calling them, or that there might be someone who feels like it's always them who that this person always needs to be the one to contact you, that you're not contacting them, and they might take it as a bad sign that you're maybe just not that interested in talking to them. And maybe that's also true. Like maybe there is someone that you're kind of avoiding, and this person is kind of getting the message. Like it seems like it is dawning upon them that their company is not really appreciated, and sometimes and like, of course, if this is someone that you don't really want in your life, because this person keeps saying some things that really don't match up with your vibe, that this person keeps kind of fucking up their chances because they like it. I don't feel like you owe this person anything. Of course, it's sad that this person feels rejected by you, but this person could also do maybe, or this person could also just accept that maybe this is not working out, and that they might have to find someone else, or I feel like this could even be an ex of yours from the past, or maybe not from the past, maybe from the near, or it is from the past because it's an ex, but I don't know if this is so long ago, but I feel like maybe there's an ex who keeps holding on, or keeps feeling like maybe you two weren't even together, but they felt like a bit of ownership over you, and so they feel like the fact that you are withdrawing is like you're breaking up over text, but you were never really together. So it's like this person feels like you've done an injustice to them by just leaving, but you two were never like. I feel like there's nothing that's binding you to this person. You can just leave if you want to. Like you don't have to give someone like like you don't need their permission to go around your life without without calling them every second of the day. Like it's but but this person might see you as an ice queen, like that if you're a man, it's an ice king. The queen of the king of swords is not iced up, so this card is not gender. Like this card here, it's just indicating someone who's cold, and so don't pay attention to the gender of it. It's gender neutral, but there's coldness here. Someone is feeling a bit cold. There's some cold air between you two, but I feel like this is one person in your life who feels a bit like you're just freezing them out, and maybe you are, and you have the right to do that. If there's someone you don't want to spend time with, I'm kind of getting the vibe that this person keeps saying some things that are very off, or like that this person, like I kind of get that you get this feeling that this is someone who's a friend of yours. For some of you it could be an ex. For others of you it could just be a very eager friend who really wants to spend time with you and talk to you. But it's like this person doesn't realize that this is just not a good match. Like you two are just not on the same wavelength, and every time you talk about things, like you have completely opposite opinions, and you don't understand this person's opinions at all, and it's like nothing really is clicking between you two. And maybe you feel like it's a bit strange that this person wants to spend time with you so much when you two have nothing in common, and kind of don't really speak the same language, like when it comes to the things that, it's just maybe a bit uphill to kind of have a conversation with this person, and so of course if it's just not working out, you don't have to try to force it to work out between you two. And I feel like you're actually doing the right thing by just slowly making it fizzle out, without actually giving this person a full-on rejection. I think you're actually taking the nice nice approach to this by just kind of reducing the time with this person, and kind of maybe not interacting too much with this person, because that would maybe make you a bit frustrated, but just enough to not make this person super sad. But this person is still anyways, like no matter how how diplomatic you're being, like this person is still kind of sad that they still feel a bit rejected. So maybe it's just about kind of finding a way to say it in a way that doesn't hurt them, but in a way where they understand that maybe this is just not really working out between you two. But I don't know. So with the star reversed, I am sensing that with this card here, it is kind of making me think of like with this card reverse, I think of someone who doesn't try to adapt that much to your surroundings, because this card here, when it's upright, it's someone who is who is dressed up as a polar bear, and the polar bear is like this symbol of adaptation. Like it's the bear that went like that became white because of the surroundings making it white through evolution, and I'm just like with this card reverse, I feel like people might be saying that that you don't just go with the flow. You have your own sense of style. You have your own sense of, like, you don't try super hard to fit in. You do what feels right for you. You follow your own drum, like the sound of your own drum. And I think people actually really like this about you, that you're not someone who just blends in with the furniture. you speak your mind about. I think you have the things that like your opinions, your political views, your the things that you believe in. Even if it's a bit alternative, I think you stand by it, and I think people see you as someone who dares to be yourself. That you're not trying to be someone else. And I think that's also what people find really cool about you, and why people want to spend more time with you, because you have a very inspiring effect, because you dare to be different. You dare to be an outsider. You dare to, like, when everybody goes left, you go right. And I think people like that, because it's it's memorable. Like people remember you because you stand out. And so when people meet you for the first time, I think they talk about you afterwards with people who know you and kind of want to know who you are and what you're all about. And so there is a curiosity from other people, and I think that's also why people, the things that people talk about behind your back is just, questions out of curiosity. Like people, especially if you have somewhere where you go, like the university or in school, if you work somewhere where there's a lot of employees, or like if there's somewhere that you go every day where there's a lot of people, I think like people might gossip. I feel like people gossip about you, or not. It's not really gossip. It's just people talk about who you are, like because people are curious about it, curious to know more about you. So. And also because you're so transformative that people also want to know who you were back before they got to know you, like because they kind of know that you might have had some different versions of yourself, not in a bad way, but in a good way, where you change up your MO, like, or that you, I guess people want to, there's something about you, there's something mysterious also, like it keeps people guessing, and people don't really know what to expect from you, and but people genuinely like you a lot. Even those who feel a bit bitter because you haven't talked to them for a while, they still have love for you, or they have a sort of, like, they like you. They want to spend more time with you because you have a way to brighten the day. You lift the vibration of the room when you walk into a room. There's just something about you that's very, like, that's like very joyful. But I think that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope this reading was helpful. And if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose the Hermetic Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 2, the people who will choose group number 2? What's the gossip on group number 2? What do people say about group number 2 behind their back? Okay, so I'm getting two things here. I'm getting that something about liberty, freeing yourself from something, being free, and then I'm also getting fallen angel. And so I think this is coming from two different sides, or like I feel like some people in your environment see you as someone who's free, someone who has done something that has made you free from whatever they might be. They might still be kind of caught up in this. It could be that you freed yourself from some duties, or something that you were suffocating in, something that you signed up for and then you regretted signing up for it, so you just found a way out of it so that you didn't have to follow through with it. And I think some of the people in your life are really rooting for you, and finds it really cool that you just followed your heart on this and just walked away. I think they really see it as very admirable that you just knew that it wasn't for you, that the glove just didn't fit, and then I think they just feel like it was good that you were able to sense that and then make a decision that was right for you. And I feel like it could be something about like dropping out of your school because you felt like it wasn't really for you, or if you were in some kind of organization, something that you thought sounded very interesting, but then ended up being kind of the opposite of what you thought it would be. And I think maybe the people who are within the thing that you that you broke out of, like if there are some people you left behind, like who are still in this, like if you dropped out of university, then maybe your classmates, they might still be in it, and some of them might feel like you did the right thing by just walking away, and maybe they also feel like maybe they should have walked away too, and so there might be something like that. But there is also there are some people who feel like you're a fallen angel in this, because they see you as someone who shouldn't have left, that you should have stayed, that you should have followed through, that you shouldn't have rebelled against what you had signed up for, like that you shouldn't, that maybe they even feel like this could also be someone in your family who feels like you should have just stuck with it even though it didn't feel right. So I feel like there are some mixed feelings here from the people in your environment. Like some people think it's cool that you go your own ways, that you follow your heart. Other people feel like you should just follow the convention, or follow the norms of what we are supposed to do. But yeah, I'm gonna shuffle the cards and see what the cards have to say about what the gossip is on you. What are people saying about you behind your back? Group number 2. It's a bit too many cards, but I'm gonna read them anyways. It's not that many. Yeah, but a lot of reversed cards, but I'm gonna go with it. So with the Knight of Cups reversed, I think someone in your family might be talking about you not being romantically involved with anyone at the moment, and that maybe they feel like you're missing out on, and maybe they also feel like it's because, like for instance, if you left school or left the university, or like then there might be someone in your family who feels like you left a good opportunity to find love, because maybe, like, even though it sounds a bit ridiculous, that of course that's not why anyone would sign up for classes at a university. It wouldn't be to pick up someone, but there might be someone in your family who met their husband or wife while studying at the university, and so this person might feel like everybody else should also find their true love at the university because they did that, or in high school or whatever, or in like this person might have some kind of view on schools as very good opportunities to meet someone and fall in love. And maybe they feel like now that you're not in that setting, now that you're not being a part of this kind of this party life that sometimes is associated with the university or other schools, that maybe you're missing out, that it might be harder for you to find love when you're not signed up for any classes which is a bit strange, but I kind of get I get the mindset. I just don't think it necessarily works out for everyone in that way. So with the Eight of Swords reversed, I feel like this actually makes me think of, like, the whole imagery. It actually makes me think of Wi-Fi, because it's the Wi-Fi symbol with the, like, I don't know if I'm just the only one seeing it that way, but with the whole transmitter thing making these waves, like, I don't know. But this is kind of what I'm fixated on when I look at this card, and so I feel like maybe someone feels like this could be like if you have chosen to do online classes instead of doing classes where you have to be physically there, then maybe someone in your family or someone in your environment feels like you're missing out on the social aspect of the education, and that maybe it's going to be harder for you to find love. And I'm circling back to the love thing, but there might be someone who's very, very fixated on trying to make you find love, like that you should find someone, that you shouldn't be single, and stuff like that. And I think this person just feels like now that you're, like, if you are doing online classes or working online or working from home or something, that you're not meeting new people and you're not mingling with others, and that must mean that you never find, that you're never going to get an opportunity to find love because you're or something like that. Even though, like, of course you can find love in other ways. You could even find love on the internet. Like, there's a lot of online dating options, and it's like you don't have to meet up physically for anything, just to but Three of Wands reversed. I think there might be someone in your family who feels. I'm kind of going back to the family stuff. Like it feels like I'm just being sucked into family gossip here. I don't know if you have a loud family or a family who speaks a lot and maybe speaks a lot in the shadows, like kind of likes to like waits around for you to go to the bathroom, and then all the juicy stuff it comes out. Like I don't know. I feel like there might be some something a bit. I'm not gonna say that this is a toxic environment. It just seems a bit like a dynamic one. Like that it's. I don't know. But there might be some people who have some people in your family who have an opinion about what you're doing and what you're not doing. Like if you're not in school, you should be in school. If you're not dating someone, you should be dating someone. And so, with the Three of Wands, I think they like Three of Wands reversed. I think it's kind of making me think that someone feels like you're not thinking about the future enough, that maybe you're too short-sighted of the future, like that you should be planning more, that you're not seeing the bigger picture, in that you're just living day by day and not really and by seeing the bigger picture, I think they mean that you need to find someone so that you can start having children, and if you already have children, then you should find someone for your children so that your children can be brought up in a household where there's like where they have a father figure in their life, or mother figure if you're a man. But like that there's just this pressure, this constant pressure that you need to make everything happen very quickly, and that there's a rush here. Like even though it's kind of, I feel like this is like a false kindness kind of thing, where it's like it's they want to protect you. They want to make sure that you're good, that your life is good, that you're doing well. Like they just want the best for you, but they are kind of just criticizing the way you're living, and they just want you to do the same thing as they have done in their life, and they just I kind of just think they want you to be a kind of as miserable as them in a way, because maybe this is someone who has has their own family and has everything going on for them in a way, but deep down maybe they even regret doing all these things so quickly, like that maybe they like this if this is like a sibling or an aunt of yours or someone like this person might look back and think like that, well, maybe they shouldn't have rushed into a marriage with someone they didn't kind of like that much, and maybe they shouldn't have gotten 5 children with this person that they didn't like that much. And maybe they have created this mess that could have been avoided if they had just taken a step back and relaxed a little bit, and then this wouldn't have happened. But I think they just look at you and see that you're actually maybe taking your precautions, and that's good, but they want you to do the same mistake as they did, because they feel like they did the right, they made the right mistake. That was within the social norms. That was what they were supposed to do, and what they felt pressured to do by society or whatever. I don't know. And so they want you to do the same, because they want you to be sort of the same level of miserable, I think. But or they just really just blindly follow the norms and want you to do the same. I don't know. But I don't really understand what the rush is. Like I don't think you have anything to worry about. Like time is not running out for you. Like it's but with the Tower reversed, I think this could be I feel like this is maybe the people who you used to work with or study with before you chose to break free of it. I think they look at you and think that you avoided a tower moment. You avoided something, like by walking away. You protected yourself, and I think they realize that it was actually a great decision for you, because maybe also after you left, things might have turned to shit, and they might have thought about you and thought that it was really good for you that you actually managed to get out before it got really like messy. So there is something, I don't really know what this is about, but I feel like there was something happening. I feel like like if you left the university or the school or the workplace that you were in, I feel like, yeah, you left at some, but I think the people I think a few people also left shortly after you left, because they couldn't take it either. Like there was really, I feel like for some of you there happened something that wasn't really ideal, and that it was maybe a bit of a toxic environment. I have said toxic a few times in this reading, and I don't really want to abuse that word so much, but yeah, bear with me on that. But I do feel like for some of you, this wasn't a sustainable environment to be in, and it wasn't a sustainable situation, and I think you just knew that you needed to get out, and I think it was good that you got out. I think it wasn't for you. It wasn't something you would have been happy doing. Like you would have I think, like, I don't really understand why some of the people in your family are being so hard on you for making this decision. Maybe they don't realize what you were up against. Like maybe maybe if they knew why you left, like what it was actually, what was behind that reason, or what reason was behind that decision. I mean, then I think they might be more understanding. But I feel like maybe they just don't have a lot of, maybe they don't have all the information, and so they just might assume that you just left because you were lazy, or because you were being difficult or something, when that was not at all the case. But I think because they don't have the details, they have just had, they've had this gap of information, and they have just been filling that gap out with theories of what might be the reason, now that they don't have the reason, they might have just made up stories that might fit, and these stories might not be super flattering, because of course when the imagination runs wild, there might be some like, that's how conspiracy theories get made. Like, it's a gap that people fill out with whatever, like, whatever their imagination can brew, and sometimes the imagination can make up a lot of strange stuff. And I think they just happen to, I don't even think it's because they dislike you, or it's just that they just think of what's the most plausible explanation, and in their mind I think they just haven't really thought about the possibility that maybe the environment wasn't the greatest environment, that they are just more used to blaming the person who stands their ground and walks away, instead of blaming the one that might be the active person, the person who or the institution, or the thing that causes this reaction. They just look at the reaction and see that your reaction to whatever happened, like that it was probably because you were lazy, you didn't fight back, you didn't do this or that, where it's maybe just that maybe your family is just more keen on blaming the victim instead of blaming the one that victimizes the victim. And I think it's I feel like some of you really have a bit of a very dynamic family. But they again, it could be generational inheritance from like people just keeping a cycle going where nobody dares to break the cycle of like there might be some vicious cycle going on in your family that just passes on from generation to generation, where people just keep blaming the victim and keep taking the failures in their life and pointing it inwards, instead of actually looking at why at other I don't know, it's a I'm moving on to the Nine of Swords reversed here. It says the Lord of despair and cruelty, and it's reversed. So I feel like even though people might be a bit like, especially within your family, they might say some things in the shadows, like things that they would never say directly to your face, by the way, because they might be very, very nice and sweet when they talk to you, but then they might say that, oh, this is a bad idea, that you're making a mistake by starting your own thing or doing your own thing, like that I don't know, or that you're starting something new, like that you should have finished what you started before or something. And but I think it's not, even though it's maybe false kindness that they're giving out to you, like that this I don't think they are necessarily cruel just for the sake of cruelty. I think in a way they just are very caught up in certain beliefs that there's only one way to do things, that they can't really look outside the box, like they can't see that there are other ways to live your life, and as long as they don't really understand that aspect of it, they can't really sympathize with you, because it's like they need to change you because they need things to be always the same, and always the same formula, the same kind of, like that everything, that it's also maybe their way of coping with a forever changing life, like, or society that keeps changing, and things keep progressing, and technology keeps progressing, and it might be hard for some of the people in your family to, and it's hard for everyone in a anyone like over 50 is definitely struggling from the feeling of not being able to follow what's going on around them when it comes to technology and stuff like that. And I think it's just, I even though this is a bit strange to talk about, but in a reading, but I think they just, the people in your family, I think they just want things to they want to hold on to traditions and norms and things that they can control, because there's a lot of things that they can't control, and so they keep holding on to the things that they can, that are actually controllable, manageable, things that they feel is in their control. And I think something like following the same formula when it comes to like finishing high school, going directly to the university, going directly to a job after that, and just following that formula, it makes them feel safe. It makes them feel like everything is how it's always been, like and it's how it should be. I don't know. And maybe if you have said something in terms of maybe being a bit different in terms of sexuality or gender, that there's something you have said about if you've said something like that, then maybe that is also something they are a bit afraid of, because they feel like this is something that's changing very drastically and has been changing very drastically for a very short time, that there's a lot of different sexualities that has come along, and even though it doesn't really seem super overwhelming to me, or probably a lot of you too, I think you probably, like, even though I guess there's no reason to have too many different different sexualities, but it's not necessarily overwhelming. And if like I feel like whatever floats their boat, like if people feel better by having their own category of whatever, and being able to mirror themselves in something, and maybe even find some company in having the same sort of in having the same sexuality, then of course if that is that, I can't really object to that. I can't really be against that if it creates joy to people. If it makes people happy, then who am I to judge? So if you have said something about, maybe something about sexuality to your family, I think it might have made them feel like a bit scared, because it's something they have a hard time coping with. Maybe because it kind of makes them feel a bit old, because they can't really follow the progression in it. That it makes them feel like they're kind of thrown out of their comfort zone and can't really talk about this, because it's maybe something they have little knowledge of. And maybe they just feel a bit like they're this silly old person that don't really understand what the younglings are doing. Like that that it's, I don't know. But with the Ace of Pentacles reversed, I think there might be something that you have been talking about, some ideas that you have, especially when it comes to career, that someone I'm stuck in the family stuff, stuck in the family drama. There might be someone in your family who feels like the choice that you have made for your career is maybe a worse choice than the choice that you made before. Like if you started an education before, this person might feel like that was a better idea, that would have given you a better income. Maybe you started studying law or medicine or something, and maybe you did it only because of making your parents happy, or the fact that it would make you financially stable in the future. And maybe you were actually making a choice where you were thinking about the bigger picture, but then you realized that it wasn't for you, that you wouldn't that you would never be happy in it. And so you might have chosen to just study something else, or do something else that just felt more right for you, something that was more on your wavelength and felt more true to you. And I think, there might be someone who just doesn't get it, who doesn't really see how it can make you a lot of money, and can't really see how that even works. And especially if you have chosen to start a career on social media, then some people in your family might not get it at all. They don't understand that people can make money on the internet, because the internet itself is a bit of a foreign concept for them. And so the idea that you would be able to get an income from doing something on the internet is just super foreign to them. And so I think that in a way it's also maybe understandable, but it's of course annoying that these people just don't trust you, that trust that you know what you're doing. But you also have to look at it from their point of view. They just see it as this strange phenomena, the internet, and they just don't get that. Also, if you found love on the internet, even that might also be something that your someone in your family finds very odd, that somebody can find love on the internet. Like I don't even, I know that's maybe more specific for some of you, but I think there's a lot of just not really knowing what you're doing or what you do for a living, or not really understanding not really understanding your choices because they don't really get them, or because they don't really have the knowledge or the insight to understand completely what you what you replaced something good for. Like they feel like you had a sort of stable thing going on, and then you've replaced it for something that seems very unstable, and they just don't get it. But you get it, you understand your vision, and I think you just have to hold on to your gut feeling. And I think there are also people who feel like your gut feeling is that it's cool that you're following your gut feeling, and they are rooting for you and think it's super cool that you've just decided to shoot for the stars and do something. I don't know if all of you have decided to do something where you're like maybe doing something on the internet, maybe social media, maybe doing YouTube videos or something like that. If you are, then I think I think a lot of, especially your friends, I think they find it super cool that you've gone down this path, like that it's that they wish in a way that they were you, that they dared to do something bold like that. I think they have respect for you. So yeah, but I think that's all I have for you. Group number 2, I hope this reading was helpful. And if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose this Miss Cleo's tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling first. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 3, the people who will choose group number 3? What's the gossip on group number 3? What are people saying about group number 3 behind their back? Okay, so I'm not sensing that there's anything really negative. Like I feel like it's very positive. What people are saying about you behind your back is very positive. It's especially emphasizing how funny you are, like that you're very funny, and I think people have really been sharing some of your jokes, the jokes that you've said to people, like they've talked about them afterwards, and like might even have used some of your jokes afterwards, but I think they have credited you for it. Like they've told that it was you who made that joke first. But there is like people are talking about how funny you are, and there might be like one thing, like someone might have felt a bit offended by one of your jokes, but I can't really tell if this person is being jokingly offended by it. Like I don't think this person was necessarily completely offended by it. I think they might have acted a bit offended and joked around about being offended, like kind of just like this person knew that you didn't mean it that way, but I think they might have talked about this because of how bold you were. Like I think this person just felt you were so bold that you dared to say something that was maybe slightly offensive, but that you dared to say it anyways. And I think this person actually respects you a lot for it. So but I feel, yeah, people find you very funny and talk about things that you've said and the way that you say them, like that sometimes someone might might say a joke that you've said before, and then just realized when they said the joke that it wasn't as funny as when you said it, because you have just a better delivery, like you're delivering jokes in a better way. It's just funnier when you say it. And this is maybe a bit family related, or like I feel like there might be something about some people in your family talking about how you sound exactly like your father, in a good way, that you have a lot of similarities to your father, maybe when it comes to your humor, that maybe your father has kind of a similar humor as you, and so I feel like there's some kind of comparison where your family members are comparing you to your father and seeing the resemblance between you two. So yeah, it could also be that you make a lot of dad jokes, and so maybe people are talking about that too. But I am sensing something with your father, that you kind of have a resemblance. But yeah. I also feel like people talk about your charisma, that you have that you have a funny way of saying things, and you have a funny way of expressing yourself, and you have a way of just making people engaged in a story. Like when you tell a story, it's like you're able to tell a story really well and make people listen, because it's like you have it's something very respectable about you, where even though you're very, very funny, and but there's also something about you that just demands people's respect, and people don't and I feel like you're also a bit protected. Like it seems like you have this protection shield around you, where you can say anything, and people would still like you. People would still be fond of you. People wouldn't judge you unfairly, or criticize you, or maybe they do judge you sometimes, but I feel like you don't get that much criticism, especially from the people around you and your friends and your family. I feel like people usually are like they give you a free pass. Like if you say something slightly offensive, people kind of just ignore it. Like they don't make a big fuss about it. Maybe they kind of make jokes about it, or kind of joke about how that could be considered a bit offensive to some, but not them. So it's like they don't. Maybe it's also the people that you're surrounded with, that they don't take things that seriously. They know that it's a joke, that you don't mean it seriously, so they don't take it seriously, as they understand the intention behind it. So but I'm gonna shuffle and see what the cards have to say about what people say about you behind your back. Okay, with the Four of Cups and the Fool reversed, with the Four of Cups, I think people see you as maybe a bit reserved, that it might be a bit hard to get close to you or get in contact with you. that it's like there's a bit of a barrier, and maybe it's also because people feel slightly afraid of contacting you, and there could be that not because you're not because there's anything to fear about you, but people might be a bit intimidated by you. If they might put you a bit on a pedestal because you are very funny, and so and you're very charismatic, and so there might be some people who feel like you're this unavailable person who's a bit too cool for the smaller people, the people who are like down here, like you're up here, and it's a bit like they have to make a big jump to get close to you, because it's like they aren't really on. And it doesn't, like, I don't really know what, but I feel like people have a way of idolizing you, or kind of putting you in this unattainable spot where they can't get there, because I think a lot of people also just assume that you're busy. That you're busy doing all your stuff, like you have all your stuff going on. They don't want to be like an intruder. They don't want to be considered like they don't want to overstay their welcome. And I think people might like when they come to visit you, they might feel like they need to leave quickly because they don't want to overstay their welcome. They don't want to have that label on them that they are maybe a bit difficult, or that there might be a running joke in your family about people who overstay their welcome, and so maybe this is actually family members who feel like they can't really reach out to you because. And maybe they feel like they can't really reach out to anyone in the family, like because there's this stigma going on. I know this is very specific for some of you, but there might be a stigma going on that in your family that everyone who is too much or too clingy or too needy or too demanding, they get this label on them, this stigma where they get considered to be too difficult or too much, and maybe this has absolutely nothing to do with you. So it's like they are just putting these thoughts into your mind that might have nothing to do with you. Like you probably, I feel like you're a very social person and you like company. So. And you're very funny, and who wants to just be the funny person without a crowd? Like, you need a crowd, of course. And of course you want people to come visit you, and of course you want people to call you and text you, and like, because you're a social person, you're at least very someone who likes to. I think you like to have someone have a conversation with people. I think you're very conversational. Maybe you're maybe not like the super. Maybe you don't characterize yourself as extroverted, but I think you're conversational. I think you like having conversations with people. I think you like to talk to people, and so it's kind of sad that some people find there to be a barrier, that they don't really dare to contact you because they expect you to be super busy all the time. And maybe it is because they have seen you around being social, being out, going partying, and maybe they just assume that that your calendar is always full because it seems that way. But maybe sometimes you sometimes have a gap that you don't have where you don't have anything to do, and maybe you're just one of those people who just want to fill that gap. And so it's sad that when you actually have time available, that some people could have spent that time with you, but they are just too chicken shit to actually contact you or call you. And so of course it but I think people might feel like there's that maybe you would reject them if they contacted you, that they get this vibe from you that I think is a bit misunderstood. I think people think you would say no a lot to them, like that if they contacted you, you would just say no or reject them, or I don't know. It's but I don't think that's the case. But maybe there's something about, like, maybe sometimes you like to joke around about certain types of people. So people might be afraid of becoming that type of person that you sometimes make jokes about. So maybe you once made a joke about someone in your life who was a bit desperate or something, and maybe people just are afraid of coming across as desperate because of that joke that you made. That might have been super hilarious, which is maybe why it kind of got around to other people too. Like other people might have heard that joke as well, because it spread around, and maybe it just made people think that maybe you would judge them if they tried to contact you. But I don't really know what the reason is. But maybe you're also a bit of a gossip, and maybe sometimes you kind of might make some might talk about some things that other people do that are a bit funny, but people might find it hilarious when they're in the moment, and they laugh at it and find it to be that you're the life of the party when you start saying something about someone that you met in the bus that was really a character or something like that. But maybe it makes them think, like, what do you think about them? Like, what do you say about them when they're not around? They might be a bit afraid that they might not be described in the best light. But with the Fool reversed, I think people talk about you as someone who is the opposite of the Fool, someone who is very smart, very that you might also be a bit smarter than you come across, because sometimes you might make jokes about yourself. I think you might have some self-deprecating humor sometimes, where you make yourself the target for some of your jokes. And I think maybe you make jokes about how you're not that great at math, or you're not that great at something, and like and I think people don't really believe you when you say things like that. I think they just assume that you're just being humble, that they probably think you're actually super good at math, but you're just saying that you're not. I'm gonna shuffle a bit more about, or you said something about how bad you are at math, but then someone might have had some proof that you're actually not bad at math. Like maybe someone knows that you got quite good grades in math class when you were in school, and so maybe someone has kind of second guessed what you said, or kind of made this theory about it that maybe you're I don't know. But I'm gonna shuffle a bit more. I'm actually gonna go ahead and shuffle some of these archetype cards just to get a bit more information about what people say about you behind your back. It's too many cards, but yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, so with the trickster and the storyteller, this makes super good sense. I think people see you as a very good storyteller, that you're very good at telling a story in a way that really captures people's attention. And I think they also see you as someone who's very good at making up stories, maybe not necessarily in a way where you're talking about where you're making lies, but I think it's more artistic. Like maybe you have written something or done some kind of artistic work that made people realize that you're actually very good at expressing yourself through words and telling stories, making stories, using your imagination to create characters and create drama between characters. And I think there's something about you having a very good artistic vision and good at really following through on your artistic vision. With the trickster card, I think people see you as this a bit of a trickster character, a bit of an outsider, someone who's kind of like the that you're maybe a bit of an oddball, like a bit of the alien in the group, that you also might have might be a bit of a you might make some practical jokes on people also, like, or take a piss on people, and that you're also very unpredictable. That you're not stuffy at all. That you're not following convention. That you dare to be yourself. That you dare to be dare to be surprising. Dare to surprise people with and. You might also have some kind of gimmick where you're like where you where you're taking a piss on people by acting like you're someone you're not, and then you say like that you're just kidding, like that's or acting like you're offended. Like maybe if someone says something, you might make them sweat by saying that you're super offended, that actually this really hurts you deep down, and you don't like it when people make that sort of jokes when you're around, and then you say like that you're just kidding, that you don't care at all about that sort of thing. So And I think people find that really hilarious when you do that, because you make people sweat, and it's always funny to kind of have like put people in a tough situation where they have to defend what they said, and then having that relief, that when you actually tell them that they're off the hook, that it's actually not as bad as they thought it was. But yeah, I don't know. With a healer card, I think people also see you as someone who has a surprising healing property, like that you're like behind the jokes and all the funny stuff, and then there's actually a very spiritual energy that might come a bit as a surprise to people, because people might not see you as a spiritual person, because they might put spiritual people a bit in a box where they don't expect super funny people to also be to also be into like gemstones and crystals and like that sort of thing, that it's like it doesn't really fit into the stereotype or something. But with a queen card, I think people see you as a queen, and even if you're a man, there's just something regal about you, something, and you might have some feminine energy to your. We all have both feminine and masculine energy, and I think people even if you're a man, I think people find it really amazing that you have this balance between your femininity and your masculinity, that you're not afraid of also showing maybe some feminine side of you, and but there's also just something about you that that makes you kind of an authority figure to people, that people listen to you, people take your advice. I think you have a way of making people feel special, like making people feel like you're talking only to them, and that you have a close bond to them, like that you understand them on a deeper level, that you see them for who they truly are, and with the mother card, I am kind of, this could mean that you're a nurturing person, very patient person. I'm kind of feeling like, even though I think you are a nurturing and patient person, there might just be something else in this card, and that could be that maybe you talk sometimes about your mother, maybe not in the most flattering way. Like sometimes you might, I don't know if your mother, like I know this is very specific for some of you, and it might not, it probably won't resonate with all of you, so just take what resonates. But I feel like for some of you, you might have a bit of a toxic mother who was very manipulative, and you might joke around about her a bit to your friends, might say like, might say some things about her, and I think people might talk about your mother, or your relationship with your mother, or they might gossip a bit about that, or they might have some theories about that that maybe something like, I don't know. It just seems like the mother, that your mother is something that people talk about. Even people who might not even know your mother, they might be talking about what you have shared about your mother. So I don't know, but for others of you, it could just mean that people talk about you being a nurturing person, that you're very patient, that you're maybe very good with children, that you have a close bond with children and you're good at making children laugh, and that you have a very natural way around children. It could be that too. So if you don't have a toxic mother, I feel like that could be more what people say about you, that it's just your mothering. And even if you're a man, then it could be just your way of making children laugh and creating joy around children, or that you're just, maybe you're very good with your nieces and nephews, and there might be some people who talk about how you have this natural way around them, and that you just seem like they're, even though they're your nieces and nephews, there might be like that they see you more as a sibling, or like an older sibling or something, that there's such a close bond between you and maybe your nephews and nieces. So it could also be your own children if you have your children of your own. But yeah, but that's all I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading was helpful, and have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose this Tarot Cats tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 4, the people who will choose group number 4? What's the gossip on group number 4? What are people saying about group number 4 behind their back? Okay, so I'm sensing that some people might be wondering where you are in the world, or just in your life, that I feel like there is some kind of mystery, some speculations about what you're up to or what you're doing right now, because people don't seem to know. And I feel like maybe you were in school, or maybe you were working somewhere, or where you had somewhat of a close bond with your classmates or your co-workers, and then maybe you left out of nowhere, and maybe you just left everything behind and started something new, and maybe you didn't really give the people an explanation for why you left, or maybe they didn't really feel like they got the closure, and so they might be wondering where you are and what you're doing, and maybe they don't feel like they can really contact you because they feel like you just left, and that you they might be afraid that you don't really want them to contact you, because of the way that things just ended. So I'm also sensing that there's just something about these people feeling like there's nothing on your social media, like maybe you have Facebook or Instagram or something, but maybe you're not posting anything, like maybe you're not posting any pictures, and maybe you don't have any information on your Facebook account, like nothing that gives any information or gives anything away, like that it's like you just disappeared out of nowhere and there's no trace of you online, or like maybe some of the people that you used to study with or work with, they might have checked your social media, and realize that there's no information there. Like they can't say, they can't see if you're studying something new. They can't see if you're working a new in a new place, or like they can't even see if you're in a relationship with someone, because you might have everything very private on your Facebook account. And so maybe there just have been some people who have been looking for information but just didn't really get any. And yeah, and no pictures to like, it's just like you just disappeared from the face of the earth, like. And with the Six of Wands reversed, I think people actually used to see you as very popular, that you were very social, and that you participated in some of the social stuff, maybe in like if you went to the university, or if you worked somewhere, like you might have been one of those who went to the parties or the events that were arranged, and maybe you even arranged some of the parties and some of the events, and you were maybe kind of hands-on socially. And then I think they just felt like, then you just left and maybe moved away, and just there was no trace of you after that, like no contact, no nothing. And I think they are kind of talking about how you just disappeared, and that they, like, I think frequently someone brings up your name and people are just like, they don't know where you are today. Like they don't know where you live. They don't know if you live far away or if you live in another country. They don't know. They don't. It's so I feel like there's a lot of mystery here. Like people are talking about the mystery. They are trying to solve the mystery. With the Tower card, I feel like some people might be wondering why you just disappeared, and maybe since they don't have any information about it, or at least some of them don't seem to have any clue why you left, and maybe there are some speculations that maybe you left because something happened, like something bad happened at work or in your school, like that something traumatic happened, maybe, like, or something criminal or something like that there was something, some kind of, yeah, I don't know, something traumatic, something life-changing. They might also wonder if you were thrown out, like that you, like if you were in the universities, you might have dropped out of university and just started something different. But since you haven't maybe told everyone that, then there might be some people that you used to study with who are speculating whether you were thrown out, that whether it was because you did, maybe because of bad participation, or like that it was absent, that you had too much, that you were absent from too many classes, that maybe that was the breaking point, or that the thing that made you stop. I don't know. But I'm going to shuffle a bit more about what people are saying about you behind your back. Okay, so with the Chariot card, people are talking about you leaving, that you're where you have gone. Oh, sorry, this is the Hierophant, but still it's the same. It kind of looks like the Chariot when you look at it. It kind of got the yeah. This is the Hierophant, but I feel like I was still kind of just talking about the same thing that I was picking up on in the channeling. So that is something that seems to be on people's mind, on people's tongue, like that people are talking about why you left and where you went and where you are and who you're with and what you're doing, like that. A lot of questions, like because people don't know the answer, so they can only speculate. And with the Hierophant, I think people might be gossiping about you. Kind of like if you look at this card, like these cats here, like in the forefront, like they are turning their backside towards the camera, you know. And it kind of makes me feel like someone might feel a bit rejected by you. So there is a bit of bitterness I'm sensing from maybe someone at your workplace or at your previous school or something, where you just left without saying goodbye. And I think this person feels like they at least deserved that. That I think they also feel like they deserve an explanation why. And maybe this person is also wondering if they had something to do with it, that they could have done more to keep you there, that maybe they would have wanted a heads up. Like I think they might have gotten a goodbye from you, that you said goodbye, and that you maybe you also gave a mini explanation before you left. But I think this person would have wanted you to tell them before you made the decision to leave, so that they could actually have changed your mind and actually been a part of this decision-making process. Like this person might feel like maybe they could have talked you into staying if you had been more upfront with what your plans were. Maybe you had been planning to walk away for a long time, but you just felt like maybe if you talked to, maybe this was why you didn't talk to them about it. Maybe you felt like if you had this talk with someone, that person would talk you into staying, and you had already made up your mind, so you didn't want anyone to corrupt your idea. So this cat here also has a lot of hats on. If you look at it, like there's a lot of hats here stacked upon each other, and I feel like maybe someone felt a bit fooled by you, because they felt like you were putting up maybe I feel like it's because like I think people saw you as very popular, and you were also very nice to everyone, and you were very friendly to everyone, and maybe especially one person, you might have been very friendly towards this person, and this person might have even considered you to be their best friend and the only person they could confide in. And they might have also called you in the middle of the night and asked you to help them with something. And so this person might have felt like you two had a quite intimate friendship. And then you just left without maybe without really giving this person any closure. And I think this person just felt like maybe you were just acting nice towards them, that it was maybe just that you were just acting kind, or like not acting kind, but maybe you were kind, but that it was just you being being a nice person, but that that they might feel a bit silly for thinking that there was anything more to it than you just being friendly. So this person might actually have thought there was something romantic going on between you two, and might have felt like there was a lot more to investigate or discover within this connection between you two. That there was a lot more aspects to this than met the surface. Like that some of the things were just buried deep down and never really got brought up in a conversation. Things that they probably wanted to talk to you about, that they feel like they never got an opportunity to talk to you about this. So I feel like there is some kind of, like, someone feels maybe a bit betrayed in a way, or that you might have faked your kindness towards them or something. Because of the fact that you could just walk away without missing it, or without grieving it, grieving the departure or something like that. Maybe you even said something like if you said goodbye to this person, you might have said that you're actually excited about leaving or something like that, and maybe this person took it the wrong way, where you might have just meant that you were looking forward to starting something new, or or starting a new adventure, but this person understood it like you were just looking forward to leaving because you were tired of them, or yeah. So I think this person just took it personally, instead of realizing that it was just you looking forward to the next thing. But I'm going to shuffle a bit more of these archetype cards. So I think with the artist card, I think people see you as an artist. I think people talk about you as someone who's very creative, and inspiring, and that you're good at expressing yourself through art, and maybe you have chosen to walk away from your job or from your studies because you wanted to do something creative, something that made sense to you, something where you could use your talents, and I think people find that very admirable, but they just feel like they don't really I think some people feel like it's a bit of a mystery, because you might have said that you were going to do this, that you were going to start your own thing, but they might feel like they haven't seen any of your work, and maybe you are very private about it. So maybe it's something you have done, but you just don't want to share it on your social media account, like that you don't feel the need to push people to acknowledge your work, like that yeah, so I think there might be something like that, that you're a bit secretive about what you do. Like if you have a YouTube channel, you might not use your Facebook account to create awareness of your YouTube channel, because you would rather just have the people who actually need to use your YouTube channel or need to see the videos that you put out, that you would rather just capture your audience in a more organic way, where people search for something and then they find your videos, instead of pushing it over your friends and family, that you feel like that would seem a bit like you're fishing for them to subscribe, even though they might not be interested in that sort of stuff. So there might be something like that going on, and it might make people feel like they know that you do this, because maybe they find out about this, maybe not directly from you, but from someone, from some other source. Like maybe you have put it on your Tinder account or something, that you're an artist or that you're a YouTuber or something, and then but you haven't put it on your Facebook or your Instagram or any of that. So maybe some of your friends might have seen your Tinder account and then tried to find any information on your Facebook account about it, but then they just couldn't solve the mystery, like they couldn't find anything. And so there might be something like that going on. I know it's very specific, so it might not resonate with you, but I feel like there might be something that keeps being a mystery to people, but they see you as a very artistic person, and they look forward to seeing you being in your element and sharing what you do. And some people might be talking about how it's a shame that you're not sharing more of your life and more of your personality with the world, that you're keeping yourself so secret, that you're so secretive about everything. And I think people find that to be a shame, because I think they feel like you don't have anything, that you don't have any reason to hide yourself, especially from your friends and family. Yeah, so there could be something like that. And that's also with the blank card. I think people like run into a wall because they can't find any information about you, and when they talk to other people, they don't know anything about you either. And so it's like they just end up going in circles, because because you're such a mystery, and you hide your stuff really well, and you're a very private person, and you're very good at being private. Like nothing seems to leak out. So I bet, like if I searched up your name on Google, there would be no results. Like there wouldn't be anything there, because I think you're very good at like hiding your traces, like that you're, yeah. And so, yeah, I think the gossip on you is like, people don't really have anything to gossip about, because people can't find any information. Like, and people just, yeah, what people talk about is that they don't really know you. They don't know, they thought they knew you, but it's like there's a lot of mystery here. So, but I think that's all I have for you, group number 4. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye.